Today we're taking a look at these CFB matches, which are happening on Wednesday, October 5, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. SMU vs UCF. For the Mustangs, preseason aspirations of coming away with the ACC title and being one of the top group of 5 teams have quickly given way to trying to snap out of their losing streak. Currently sitting on a 2-game losing streak, the Mustangs now have to hit the road for one of the most challenging environments in the ACC. The hope is that losing one-score games to teams like Maryland and TCU over the last 2 weeks will serve this team well with the experience to run through conference play the best that they can. After dominating the Knights last season, the Mustangs are hoping they can find that form and energy and start ACC play with a crucial road win. One advantage for the Mustangs is that they've been able to stay relatively healthy so far this season. Heading into this weekend, they have no injuries to report, and considering they might need every advantage they can get, it could go a long way towards determining this one. UCF's lone loss this season has come at the hands of Louisville, and while far from a great loss, there's little doubt that the Knights haven't looked great in their other games. 2 weeks ago, they bounced back nicely with a 26-point win, while last week they took down Georgia Tech by 17 points. Getting healthy and getting consistent have both been keys for this team and turning this around. Now that October is starting to roll along, this team looks like one that could win the ACC and compete for the coveted spot of the top group of 5 team. Being at home should be a huge advantage, and with the bounce house rocking, Sunday should be a great college football event. While they don't have a completely empty injury report like their opponent, the Knights have done well to stay healthy themselves this season. Jordan Davis, undisclosed, remains out at tight end, while Lamari Johnson, leg, is the only other play appearing on the injury report. With an already thin receiving core, Johnson's status will want to be monitored prior to kickoff. Offensively, SMU is one of the most exciting teams to watch in the country, and it starts with their passing game. Ranked 5th nationally in passing yards per game, this team has the explosiveness to stun UCF if not taken seriously. The running game hasn't been nearly as dominant, though it wouldn't come as a shock to see them put an emphasis on that in this one to control the clock and tempo. Tanner Mordecai, 1385 yards, 12 touchdowns, is as elite as they come, and it'll help to have his experience to lean on in this one. As good as the offense has been this season, the lack of cohesiveness on the defensive side of things has left quite a bit to be desired this season. They rank 94th nationally in yards allowed per game on the defensive end, while ranking 109th against the run. Considering UCF has one of the country's best ground games, this is a massive concern for Sunday. Isaac Slade-Matosha, 25 tackles, will be counted on to lead THR way, though Nelson Paul, 20 tackles, 3 sacks, is the one who can dictate this game. Our team pick is UCF, -3. The Mustangs started the season strong, opening 2-0 with 2 blowout wins against smaller programs in North Texas and Lamar. SMU has lost their last 2 games, however. Even though the Mustangs' last 2 losses were to respectable programs in TCU and Maryland, and the team kept the score close in each of the last 2 games, SMU still fell short. The Mustangs' defense struggled significantly in the team's 2 losses, giving up 478 yards to TCU and allowed 439 yards to Maryland. The Knights are 3-point favorites because of their 3-1 record, but this team has beaten no one so far. Central Florida has wins against South Carolina State, FAU, and a 1-3 Georgia Tech team. Louisville is the only respectable team the Knights have faced, and they lost 2014 at home to the Cardinals. Louisville also moved the ball fairly easily against UCF, despite only scoring 20 points, with the Cardinals putting up 420 yards in that game. UCF averaged only 3.9 yards per pass against a weak Louisville defense as well. The Mustangs' offense has been solid even in the team's losses. SMU put up 476 yards against TCU, and the team put up over 520 yards 2 weeks ago in a loss against Maryland. Senior quarterback Tanner Mordecai is playing well. He's thrown for over 300 yards in all but 1 game this year, a blowout win against Lamar, where the Mustangs didn't need to throw much. Mordecai has thrown 12 touchdown passes and just 5 interceptions so far this year. UCF starting quarterback John Reese Plumlee has struggled against even mediocre and bad defenses so far this year. The senior averaged just 3.1 yards per pass against Georgia Tech and just 3.9 yards per pass in the team's loss to Louisville. His only 2 good games came against weaker programs, FAU and South Carolina State. UCF is very lucky to be 3-1 right now. Central Florida comes into this game with a record on the season of 3 wins, 1 loss, with the only defeat coming against Louisville by the score of 2014. The 3 victories for Central Florida came against South Carolina State, Florida Atlantic on the road, and against Georgia Tech, most recently by the score of 27-10. Tanner Mordecai is the team leader for Southern Methodist in passing with 1,385 yards in the air, to go along with 12 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions on the season. Mordecai has a total QBR rating of 67.7% and a completion percentage of 58.4% with a quarterback rating of 146.3 on the season. John Plumlee is the team leader for Central Florida in passing with 827 yards on the season, to go along with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Plumlee has a total QBR rating of 61.2% with a completion percentage of 59%, going 69 to 117 on the season. UCF has shown no ability to pass the ball consistently through 4 games this season, and the Knights will likely look to once again keep their offensive game plan focused on the ground attack. SMU's defense hasn't been consistent, but UCF couldn't even throw for 4 yards a pass against defenses like Georgia Tech or Louisville. UCF's defense has been respectable, and even though the SMU offense has been strong this year, UCF should be able to keep the Mustangs from putting a huge number up. UCF brings a solid defense into this game, and the Knights are a run-heavy offense. This game isn't likely to be a high-scoring one. With heavy winds in the area, there is likely to be higher than average winds, which will obviously impact the passing and kicking game as well. This should be a lower-scoring game. Our total pick is under.